So thank you very much, everybody, for being here today. So I'm Sebastien, CEO of PosterLab. Our goal is to make partnership in R&D succeed. And today I'm going to share with you what are the main takeaway of my participation to DTIM, which was the last 2 days in Berlin, where it was all about, let's say, corporate innovation and about the latest trends happening in this industry. So let me share with you my screen, where I'm going to share basically the notes that I take about this event. There was a lot of interesting insights. So let me just share it with you now. All right. So for those of you that could not make it, so as a reminder, DTIM is an event that is all about corporate innovation that happens every year. This year was in Berlin the last 3 days. So very interesting events. I really recommend you participate into this event. So what are the main trends that have been discussed? For sure, a lot about digitalization, a lot about ecosystem. So how to leverage ecosystem in a sense, who are my partners as an organization? Who are my partners, academia, startups, other corporations? Who are my partners that I'm working with them already or could work with? So to try to identify these players that can help me in my innovation processes. Foresight and trends. There was a lot of discussion about foresight and trends. Several, let's say, players on the market showcasing their solution with the goal to, let's say, to help innovation departments to kind of have a view of what are the latest things happening in a macroeconomic manner. StageGate, for those of you that into innovation, you certainly know this word. So StageGate is all about trying to find some ways to structure innovation processes. Usually, StageGate, you have the front end and the back end, which is front-end innovation, back-end innovation, so from ideas to market. Partners, which is related to ecosystem. Bring people on board. There was a lot of discussion. How can I bring my organization, my people on board to think innovatively about new solutions and processes? And some other keywords that I'm going to tap into and explain more into details right after. What was interesting, there was the CEO of IMP. So IMP is a consulting organization. Actually, the CEO was the co-author of the Innovator Dilemma, so which is kind of the reference book into this topic, which was interesting. It says the less you know about the problem, the better the solution will be. Quite interesting insight. So let's go into the details, especially. So what was the first topic that was discussed? And actually, it's interesting because it's very much in line with what we do by PosterLab. So the first keynote was by the Strategic Director of Innovation Ecosystem by Swarovski. So Hannes, in which let's say, introduced, let's say, the idea about how to actually to interact with your ecosystem of external innovation partners to scale and speed up your innovation processes. So it actually showed us how to map your ecosystem. So we need to have a systematic way to know who are your partners, what are their capabilities, and how you can leverage them. So I came up with a lot of different ideas. I highly recommend you follow him on LinkedIn. Very interesting is he wrote a lot of articles about ecosystem, leveraging ecosystem in a innovation context. Very interesting insight from him. The day 2 keynote was from Stephan Friedrich, like I just mentioned, CEO of IMP, which was again about open innovation and how to select the right tools to successfully deal with disruption. So a lot of interesting insight, a lot of practical tools like exercise to be done with your team. Let's say you are your competitors. How would you basically not destroy, but how could you, let's say, take away of market share? So to think differently, to think out of the box in different kind of example and exercises that he mentioned. He mentioned 5 of them. This is one of them that I've just mentioned to you. Take a look at what he's writing about this topic. Quite interesting insights also from him about really to try to think out of the box and to see how we can disrupt. If somebody goes into our space, how can it disrupt us? And this kind of thinking actually allows his customers to come up with new solution and new products that could be launched afterwards. So interesting insight, because we tend to be too much focused on let's say, what do we have as capabilities, what do we have as solution, but we forget to take the other way around. A lot of very interesting discussion about internal innovation initiative to embark teams to think outside the box. to identify new solutions. So I took just 3 main examples that were some of the speakers. There was the innovation hub from Camax. There was the head of innovation from Gerresheimer, and there was the R&D manager from Atlas Electronics. The 3 of them are in different maturity stage when it comes to innovation. Camax was very interesting. They have a little, let's say, innovation hub. And what they did is, for me, very interesting. They try to come up, they look at let's say the DNA of what they were doing. So it's very, they're doing some kind of a very basic product. It's screws. So it's very basic, but they try to look at the DNA of this, and they kind of, from the DNA, they kind of identify any other, let's say, application of their technology. And from that moment on, they embark the whole, let's say, the whole teams in different locations across Europe to think out of the box. And this whole process led actually to a brand new innovation in completely different sectors and industries. So only starting by what is the DNA of our solution, and let's see how it can be used in completely other industries we are not already playing with. So very interesting. Maike was from Gerresheimer. She's just started to head the corporate innovation team of Gerresheimer. So they have a small team for the time being. They are 2 persons. And what they did is that our vision was to try to help anyone within Gerresheimer to come up with new innovation and new solutions. So how they did it, she actually came up with what she called innovation services, which is basically a gallery of templates and guidelines that have been, let's say, populated and spread around the organization, how to do business case, how to test your hypothesis, how to make technical feasibility. So guidelines also to help assess ideas that could be used by anyone within the organization. And thanks to these guidelines, you could actually gather several ideas that were then transformed into projects, into NPDs that when they're launched. So only starting with specific guidelines, specific templates spread around the organization so people actually can wrap up innovation. Atlas Electronics, they are in defense mainly. Geronimo, let's say, explain us several things, and what I like, one of the things that he's doing is doing the iTalk. iTalk is basically every month they are, from the R&D management, they are organizing a talk, which is aiming at the whole company, where they are sharing, let's say, one of the things they're working on innovation, and also say and a couple of topics. The main goal of this iTalk is to actually raise the topic of innovation across Atlas Electronics. So again, for me, it's a good tips. It's low-hanging fruit setting up this kind of monthly talk. So again, I picked this one because for me this is very practical thing that you can that any organization can implement without too much resources to start with. Then there was this very interesting discussion with Steele that I guess a lot of you know, with the director of advanced development. So Steele was also mentioning, was interesting because he showed a picture. I mean, Steele, for those of you that do not know the solution, is basically doing tools to take care of your gardens, or let's say to cut trees and grass and lawn and these kind of things. And he showed us a picture of where they stand right now and where they're going to be tomorrow. And you could see drones, you can see Boston Dynamics robots. And they say, yes, right now we are implementing this, but the tricky thing is that the partners we are talking to right now are completely different than the partners we have been talking for the last 20 to 30 years, which are basically mainly engine and parts, some kind of material external partners. But now he was telling them, no, we need to talk to Google, we need to talk to Facebook, we need to talk to some of the digital guys. We never talked with these people in the past. So let's say the digital innovation, digital transformation force, let's say, companies to go after partners they never talked to in the past, to come up with very disruptive innovation that help them to compete on the market. So that was quite interesting because it's hard to change the way they work internally because of the completely, let's say, partners there are no needs to work with. Another interesting talk from ABB, so the CEO of Star Market. he was mentioning that he was starting to implement Agile in NPD processes. He selected two projects for that, and using the time boxing, which is, let's say, one of the key elements of Agile, and saying that R&D can be time boxed on a 2 weeks manner, but you have to be strict on the deadlines, which is a key component of Agile. So again, what was interesting for me is that because there's a lot of talk about it, R&D NPDs can be used. I mean, can leverage Agile in a very practical way. So he was quite happy about using this kind of things. Some other trends that I've heard, some vocabulary mainly. So Foresight, so trends watching. There's a lot of things going on the market, especially with machine learning. There's much more advanced tool to look at foresights. Front-end, back-end innovation. Front-end refers to IDs management, ID stage gating, where the back-end is more about the delivery of the innovation and the go-to-market. What was a bit surprising, even concerning, some may say, is that I still see that the CEO weighting into the innovation process could be quite high in some organizations. That in some organizations, the CEO is basically the one saying, okay, we go not for this innovation, which I found a bit concerning from my point of view. But it's just my personal feeling on this one. What I've heard behind the scenes, so when I was talking to people, let's say after some talks, a lot of people were saying, okay, we have too much ideas. Ideas are fine. I was actually talking with a professor from a well-known university in Germany. He was telling me, yes, too much ideas. What I would have wished there would be more during these 2 days is more about these people that actually share best practices, or they actually execute in a sense, or they bring the innovation to market, how they do this in a very concrete manner. So it was missing a bit on the execution part, which is also a bit of my feelings. There was a lot of discussion about processes, but high-level processes, but not enough. Okay, these are the challenges we faced when we try to implement the processes, or this is where the friction happens in between the different departments with our partners. I was missing this kind of aspect. What I would like to highlight also is how can we help here as far as PosterLab goes. So, you know, there's a lot of discussion about faster go-to-market. That's one of the motto of these 2 days. And like I was mentioning, there was a lot of this bringing awareness of the fact that maybe one of the fastest, safest way is actually to leverage your external innovation partners. Why? Because these people have some capabilities that you do not have. And as you know, right now, innovation is more and more complex. You need to piggyback and to let's say, to leverage, let's say, the knowledge of your external partners. So this is where we can help. I mean, with PosterLab, you can easily, let's say, find partners you have worked in the past. Let's say on our platform, when you have PosterLab, you can easily find out partners you worked in the past, and even, let's say, if you have an NDA in place with them, which one of the people I did a demo to during the 2 days says, "Oh, that's great," because then if I'm looking for specific capabilities and I found out that actually one of our partners we worked with in the past has this, and share on the cake, we already signed an NDA with them, makes the whole process much faster. So capability mapping is kind of related to the first point. There was a lot of discussion also about companies that are starting to map out their competencies, their capabilities, and their know-how in a systemic manner. Why are they doing this? For many reasons. One of the reasons is that they see that a lot of people are leaving the companies in terms of seniority, and they have some huge difficulties to bring new people on board. So there's a lot of companies are starting to do this, mapping out their capabilities. And also why, the second reason why they do this is that this digital transformation is forcing them to go into new fields, into new products, into new solution. And one of the companies was actually saying, we have to pilot. And to know where we could go, we had to know what we know. And based on this knowledge, we could actually figure out where we could go. So again, this is something we can do with PosterLab. We have a machine learning system that actually helps you to map out in a systematic manner, let's say, the capabilities of your partners and the one of your organization. StageGate is the name of the game in the innovation industry. What I see on the other end is that not all companies are using StageGate. I would say something like 30 to 40% of the companies that were present over the last 2 days are using StageGate. But on the other hand, the 40% that are using StageGate are using every more or less in a different manner. So it means that you need to have a kind of a flexible way to support these companies. This is what we have on PosterLab side. You have the possibility to actually fine-tune the stage gate processes according your own specific stage gate, because some companies are more into IDs, assessment of feasibility, production and delivery. Some others are spending more time on scouting, some others are spending more time on POC, some others are spending more time on other aspects. So you need to have a certain degree of flexibility that we have on the platform. Guidelines, like I was mentioning, there's a lot of companies now that are trying to come up with guidelines for their teams across the organization to run innovation. So, and this is being done with templates a lot of times, that like I was mentioning just before. And again, here, what we did inside the platform, you actually have templates that we have done according, let's say, our own experience, as well as some ISO certification and some other interviews that we did, that we did with the team, to actually come up with templates that help you to come up with systematic processes when you start collaboration. So that you are ensured as a manager, you know that, okay, we are going to start a new collaboration. I know that my teams know what is the legal track, they know what is the business, how to build the business case, or to assess the feasibility in a systematic manner, and cherry on the cake, the possibility to be able to invite your external partners in each of these steps. So for me, that was also something important based on the discussion that have been taking place during the events. So that was kind of my wrap up of the DTIM events. Feel free to reach out to me if you want a demo of PosterLab. I'll be more than happy to show you, let's say, how it works and how we can help, because it's also our goal. And let's say we still have, let's say, 1 or 2 minutes. So if you have any question, feel free to ask right now, or any comments. That would be great.
Right, Yves speaking.
Yes.
Yeah. So, first, one comment is that I fully agree on the digital transformation, which is definitely making a lot of change and change of habit and change of way of thinking and working in the company. It's something that we see already with not only with artificial intelligence, but also with automation or with business intelligence. And after, yeah, if you can, maybe, are you able to show right now the PosterLab interface?
Yes, I can. Sure. Let me give me 1 sec.
And especially my question is, where do you plug some artificial intelligence to in your?
Okay, all right. Thank you for the question. So I will show you, let's say, one way to do this. So just explaining, let's say, the ecosystem mapping. First of all, like I was mentioning, so here, let's say, on the platform, you can have, let's say, access to your ecosystem of partners, and you can see the different capabilities that your partners have. And you can even go down and, for example, saying, okay, you are looking for, let's say, a partners, or somebody is looking for partners to have some experience in manufacturing furnitures. And actually, you can actually see all, let's say, the project that's, let's say, Organization X, which can be your company, for example, I've been doing in the past with Oping. So you can see all the different projects, and you can see what is the topic and who was involved from both sides. For example, if I go on this one, these are the people that were involved into this project with which other, let's say, corporation. So back to your question, here, one way where we can actually help to map, let's say, partners is if I go here. So let's say one of your team member or yourself, you have been into a fair, or you've been into a discussion with Tetra Pak. I'm just taking a random name here. So you have the Tetra Pak URL, because it's, let's say, the company I have, maybe you meet with in a conference or in a fair, or let's say anyone at a discussion with. So it could be actually maybe a partner that is not existing, or so that you would like actually to have visible for anyone with your organization, because this partner could become a partner in the future. So the machine learning here is actually extracting the different capabilities from the website of this partner. So you can see the different capabilities that are mapped out automatically with the machine learning, as well as automatic summary of, let's say, what this partner is doing, and what are these key skills. You can do the same with any kind of documents you have from them to systematically map it out so that anyone, again, in the organization can share partners they are talking with to the rest of the organization. And here you see you have the Tetra Pak that is not listed. And if anyone is looking for these specific skills, you can actually find it out. So that's one way to use machine learning. The other way that we are using it is if I go here into this specific, this is a workspace. A workspace can be a BU, can be a department, or can be a specific themes within an innovation department. And here, if I go into the gallery, I have different documents that have been shared in between the partners. What I can see, if I go here, I see a scientific poster, but again, it can be any kind of documents. And I see, let's say, the different aspects of this document. I see the description, the topics, and the keywords. These three elements have been extracted by our machine learning automatically from these documents. Why we do this? We do this in a sense that we want to map knowledge in a systematic manner, especially the knowledge that has been exchanged in between parties, so that anyone that is looking for this kind of information or topics or keywords can easily find out either the author, the person that is working on this topic, or the organization itself. To again, let's say, make it super easy to find knowledge. Process-wise, the same thing. You upload the document, the machine learning is extracting all the information and putting it out. And what is also interesting is that all the keywords and the topics are automatically attached to the author of this document. So again, make it easy to find either a person that knows about something that you would like to know about, or a document if you want to know more yourself. I hope it's answering your question.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Any other question before we end?
Just a last one. I see that you use also ChatGPT.
We are not using ChatGPT.
No, okay.
It looks like ChatGPT, but it's not. It's our own machine learning system that we developed, which is mainly, let's say, trained on scientific data to give, let's say, another level of accuracy in terms of topics and keywords.
Okay.
But we may use it also on top of it.
Okay. So it's more personal use and it's not used for PosterLab.
Yeah. Well, it could be. Let's say it could be. Why not? Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your participation and your question. I hope it was useful, and I wish you a great day and all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.